So I've been watching one of the runs in Andorra. If I can just pull that up and we can go through that, if you don't mind. I just want
Yeah.
to love to know what was in your mind through some of this.
Well, Andorra is going to be our first event this year, so that starts on the 20th of February.
Oh, awesome. So I bet you've got some confidence for that. Although, with that said, do you have to be careful not to get too comfortable with those events? Or is it always different each time you do that, even if it's the same
Yeah, well, the
location?
snow is usually always different. You know, maybe some cliffs you can hit this time that you couldn't last time, or vice
Yeah,
versa. Like, just depends what the snow's doing. Um, Usually, when I was on the qualifying tour, I try and pick a different line each year and try not to do the same. But I don't know, maybe I'll pick some of the same ones, but just try and go bigger on the same
that's
thing. We'll see.
that's awesome. Yeah. So what's going through your mind at that stage where you're just looking down and just getting yourself prepared?
Yeah, just making sure my line's there and where I want to go. Basically, before I drop in, I just kind of scope around the top and look where I'm going to, and just try and visualize every turn, because we don't actually get to ride the course at all beforehand. So it's our very first time on it, first run, and just got to remember the features where you're going to turn left and right.
That's madness. So you don't get to try all that before. This is your first time feeling it. That's madness to me.
Yeah. So we arrive the day beforehand, and we get a viewing day. So we just go and look at the course, kind of having some ideas of where we want to go, and then the next day check it out again, and then go hit it for the first time.
So this part was impressive. So this was the winning run as well that we were talking about in Andorra. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, we actually got super lucky with this competition, because for the whole weather week, it was just pure ice. Like, there's no way we could have competed on it. And then, like, the day before the last possible comp day, it just dumped snow and we got powder. So it was pretty awesome. There was a few icy patches in there, but most of it was pretty nice.
Oh, that's brilliant. Do you ever get sometimes a bit of a shock with the weather from like terrain to also, I was thinking visibility. There's one that I was watching before and there's pretty much zero visibility. And before, someone who doesn't usually watch it, I was like, it's not something that would go through my mind when you say snowboarding, how bad the visibility is. Seems silly now, but yeah.
Yeah, I've been in a couple of competitions where you literally can't see anything, and you just do a big turn. You're like, I think there's something here. But then again, like that, you also get judged on going big, but also controlled. So in that kind of situation, they obviously don't want you to go as big or as crazy as you can, just for safety reasons.
That's what I was going to ask as well, is about the time, because with it being free riding, it's not about the time either, is it? Like, you don't get any extra score for reaching the finish faster or anything like that. It's just literally technique, is it?
Yeah, just overall impression. So with your air, technical difficulty, fluidity, and what tricks, and just your line, and all that together, and they add it up. And obviously going fast helps too, but it's not about the quickest.
Yeah, so you don't get judged on the time, but if it's more,
No.
if it looks impressive, the control you've got over that speed, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. I wanted to talk about as well, I know we just mentioned injuries, if you don't mind, because I always think about it as well. Going back to boxing and things like that, you wouldn't ask a boxer if they're scared of getting KO'd. And I bet you get asked all the time about injuries and that fear. Is that something you try and switch off or not?
Yeah, I just don't really think about it.
Until someone like me asks about it.
I have had two major injuries. Like, I broke my back in 2010, so that was a big one. Had spinal fusion and all that good stuff. And I actually took a year off, and then I went and did a TAFE course, got a job, and about 9 months into that, I was like, oh my God, what is this? This sucks, I'm going back.
So was you debating at that point of just giving it up for good?
I thought about it. I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it. Like, because I had a walker, for like 6 weeks, and had to kind of relearn to walk a little bit. And it was just a long year. But then, once it healed up and I got back to it, there was no way I wasn't going back.
Yeah, I bet you couldn't even imagine being on the slopes when you're in that much pain. You know, initially when you're, you know, it's the last thing
Yeah,
on
well,
your
I think
mind.
everyone who gets injured at the snow heals quicker because they try really hard to get back to being back on the snow. It's like an incentive because everyone just wants to go back straight away, which is crazy. But
And what was the recovery like
yeah,
then? What did you have to do, and then how long was it? Literally just a year, and then you decided, right, I'm going back into it, because that's a real quick turnaround.
yeah, I came back and I just kind of cruised at the start and went around the jumps. But as I eased back into it, um, I think taking a few hits, like hard hits, and realizing that it's okay, that kind of gets you back to, all right, I've got this. That kind of happened. My latest injury was my ACL reconstruction. And my
Yeah,
first day back on the snow over this way in Europe, I landed flat like on this jump and my binding exploded into three pieces. I just grabbed my knee and I was like, oh, actually, nothing hurts. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm back. I can go back to it. And then I
yeah.
just, yeah, stopped thinking of it.